Touchdown. Planetfall complete. Drop pod integrity nominal. Omni-situational exploration suit nominal. Pioneer. Acceptable.
Oh.
Ah, what a beautiful day. Surely there's nothing on this planet that wants to kill me. Oh no. Hello. Today, I will be playing the greatest factory builder ever made. Yeah, that's right, I said it. In this game, you do such fun things like mining ores, smelting ores, and creating weapons of mass destruction to destroy the local flora and fauna and fuel your planetary exploitation. While not as difficult as some things, Satisfactory holds a special little place in my tiny little heart ever since I played it back in 2021. In the years since, I've gone from making factories that barely work to making factories that barely work. But damn do they look good. Today, however, things have changed. Namely, the long-awaited full release. For a brief second, the world was at peace. The update adds a lot of new stuff, like laser beams, faster belts, and even quantum mechanics. The update changed me, and made me realize the true meaning of life. Finish the game. A simple goal, but one that is not without its challenges. To help me in this journey, I went up to my friend Jack and kindly asked him to join me. Together, we will experience the good, the bad, and the whatever the hell this is. I'm Jacob, and welcome to Like any other playthrough, our journey begins by violently getting thrown at the planet, nearly dying to a hog, and finding some good ol' FE. Knowing the map like the back of my hand, we decide to head over to Day 1. After so many weeks of training, the day is finally here. Me and my partner have been assigned to Massage 2 ABB to complete our mission. It's a little bit nerve-wracking to be so far from home on such an important mission, but Earth must be saved. Our descent was a little hectic, and me and Emily got separated. We managed to meet up after much effort, allowing us to start the so-called onboarding process. After a short walk, we found an iron-rich area. From here, we set up the hub and began the process of saving the day. From the Journal of Samantha Robbins, Pioneer number 15389, dated 09 September 2134. With the hub set up, we can now access the hub upgrades. These little things, well, physically upgrade the hub, but also give us access to somewhat important items like iron ingots and screws. We also need them to progress in the game, so kind of important. First on the chopping block is Hub Upgrade 1. This requires 10 iron rods. You know what? Let's speedrun this.
For the next steps of onboarding. Once finished,
The voice is getting annoying.
function is your base of operations. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 1.
It's only annoying because we've listened to it so much. What the? Ah, dang it, come on. Hub Upgrade 2 is next. It takes 20 rods and 10 iron plates. We finished this one within 2 minutes.
Hub Upgrade
Hub
2.
Upgrade 1,
We
storage
need
and plate completed.
20 rods,
Like
10
a portable
plates.
miner.
This upgrade gives us this beautiful empty box, as well as copper. Copper isn't used much in the early game, but it's needed for the smelter, which is also unlocked. Up next, Hub Upgrade 3. 20 plates, 20 rods, and 20 wire. See, smelters need power, and power needs to travel from a power plant to a machine. So, what elements should we use to conduct this beautiful electromagnetic current with? Why copper? Luckily, there's a couple of copper nodes close by. To help expedite our planetary exploitation, I built an equipment workshop and created a few automated miners. Placing these little guys on a node will, get this, automatically mine whatever it is. I go ahead and place 4 on the iron node, while Jack goes off into the distance, never to be seen again. Also, rockin' stone, brother! With the help of these miners, we successfully complete Upgrade 3. This gives us the most important feature of the entire game. A feature so important, the trailer for it came out before the trailer for 1.0. A feature so important, no adjectives in the English language can describe it. Of course, I'm talking about the toilet. It also unlocks the character customization.
Oh, I can have like a little keychain too.
You look so stupid. The final thing unlocked is the constructor. After taking a tour of the newly designed hub, we continue on to Upgrade 4. By now, you should know the drill. Lots of plates, lots of cable, and a small sprinkling of concrete. To commemorate our progress, we build our very first smelter right next to the iron node and connect it to the completely, definitely eco-friendly biomass burners. While crafting, I remember a hard drive is close by. This will begin the first of many hard drive hunts in this playthrough. It will also be the shortest, as the hard drive is on an island that we can't get to. In case you don't know, hard drives are used to unlock alternate recipes. These alternates are almost always better than the normal recipe. The big one at this stage of the game is the sacred, the coveted, cast iron screw. While we couldn't get the hard drive, we do come across a power slug, which we also can't get. Stupid nature. After some time, we complete Upgrade 4, giving us access to the Spaghetti-inator itself, the belts. Also, I trapped Jack in the bunk bed. You're stuck.
Get out!
Let's speed this up a bit. Upgrade 5. 75 rods, 50 cable, 20 concrete. This one took a good amount of disgusting, inefficient handcrafting, but we complete it. Hub Upgrade 6, the final one. 100 rods, 100 plate, 100 wire, and 50 concrete. This one takes significantly more resources than before. Enough so where we decide to be good employees and finally build our very first production line. After some time, we end up with this. It turns iron ore into iron plates. But how? Okay class, today's lesson is iron. In real life, it's pretty useless unless you turn it into steel. But in Satisfactory, it's used in a lot of items and buildings. But how is iron made? Well, it begins billions of years ago when, deep within the center of a star, hydrogen fuses into helium, which then fuses into iron. Probably. Once the entire core is iron, the star becomes too fat and bursts, spewing all of its iron into the universe. Billions of years later, a planet forms from this iron. However, not all the iron is spread equally. This causes 3 different purities of iron node to occur: impure, normal, and pure. When a lovely fix-it employee places a miner on an iron node, the purities cause it to mine at different speeds. It should be noted, these are the per minute values. In reality, a miner on a normal node creates 1 iron every second. But, for the sake of simplicity, the game and I will almost always use the per minute numbers. Our wonderful miner is making 30 iron ore, and would you believe it, a smelter consumes 30 iron ore. The smelter also produces 30 iron ingots, making it a perfect one-to-one recipe. A constructor making iron plates consumes 30 iron and produces 20 plates. If you're paying attention, you may notice you just need one miner, one smelter, and one constructor, which is definitely a coincidence and not just the devs being smart with the math. To finish the line, we add a box to the end to store all the plates. If this doesn't make sense, then I suggest you drop this class, because it's only going to get much more complicated. Class dismissed. With plates being made, we handcraft the rest and finish all the hub upgrades, meaning it's finally time to start the real game and move into Phase 1. Now that the hub is finished, progression changes ever so slightly. Rather than just pushing a button, we have to push a button with extra steps. New items and buildings are locked behind milestones, which are locked behind tiers, which are locked behind phases, for a total of 5 phases, 9 tiers, and 42 milestones. To unlock more phases, you must complete shipments in Project Assembly. This is what this long, erect object is for. Each phase of Project Assembly requires unique project parts. For now, we need to get 50 smart plating to complete Phase 1. However, to build smart plating, we need items from milestones in Tier 2, and for those, we need items from milestones in Tier 1. You starting to see how this works? With onboarding complete, true factory building can begin. As such, it makes sense to get base field research. While not the most conventional milestone to start with, it does come with its benefits, namely the Molecular Analysis Machine, or MAM. The MAM gives us access to research trees that can unlock useful things. It also allows us to unlock alternate recipes, which would be nice given there's a hard drive close by that we still can't get without base building. Damn it. Anyways, field research doesn't cost all too much, but of course the fuse blows before we can start working on it. So I'm thinking a miner making rods. I'm thinking we get more fuel.
Yeah.
Luckily, it only went out because the burners didn't have enough fuel and not because we're using too much power, which will certainly never be an issue ever. This is called subtle foreshadowing. Since it's just a lack of fuel, I head out into the wilderness to collect leaves. As I was frolicking through the fields, I came across this strange orb. Day 6. Whilst gathering materials, I come across this strange orb-like thing. It ominously glows with a deep purple, all while murmuring a low hum. After dispatching a nearby hog with my trusty Xeno Zapper, I approach the orb. As I near it, I start feeling this urge to grab it, to take it. Upon touching it, a large burst of energy is released and the orb is stable to pick up. That strange, tempting feeling fades. I'm only left to wonder what just happened. Dated 15 September 2134. These Mercer spheres are new to 1.0 and will become useful a little bit later on. Sometime later, we pick up our second sphere. I bet I can make that. Had a mild heart attack doing that. We then create as much biomass as humanly possible, restart the factory, and finish the milestone. After this, Jack gets to work on the second production line, while I get the materials needed to build a MAM. It only takes some basic parts, so it's finished soon enough. As of now, there are 5 research trees open to us. New ones are added as you find new resources like quartz or sulfur. With the MAM built, I complete the first research. Pale berries. Not the most exciting, but oh well. We then do barrel nuts, blue power slugs, and finally, Mercer spheres. Among other things, Mercer spheres gives us our first look into the strange story of Satisfactory.
Mercer sphere analysis completed. Established local planetary signature of massage 2, AB, in the local Mercer sphere signals, allowing them to be tracked by the object scanner. Mercer spheres can also transmit data between specific.
Witness our scripture, witness our windows. Have you come to defile our shrine? Sing us a song.
Arguing
Whoa.
the existence of
Okay.
intelligent alien life. While Fixit has figured out the method, all of the original data is still untranslatable.
Next up is quartz and hog remains. Nothing crazy, but it is important to get these preliminary techs done. Now we can move on to more milestones. First up is base building, the one we probably should have started with. This will give us access to, base building stuff? Foundations are, or at least should be, the foundation of every base. Building on foundations creates a unified grid, which is useful unless you're an anarchist. Looking at you, IGN. Base building is just 100 plates and rods and 200 concrete. The concrete is a little problematic seeing as we're not making any, however it is easy enough to automate, so I set up this simple thing. This beautiful setup makes 15 concrete a minute, which is awful. Luckily, Jack helps this issue by researching overclocking. Remember that power slug we came across? Well, overclocking is what it's used for. When you compress a slug into a single crystal, you get a power shard. Throw this into a machine and it increases its speed. It should be noted that the inputs are also increased with the outputs. For example, if you overclock a smelter making iron ingots to 200%, it will output 60 ingots while also consuming 60 ore. Overclocking also increases power demand. The same smelter from before would consume 10 megawatts rather than just 8 if you built 2 machines. Overclocking is most useful when used with miners, which you will see throughout this series. With the power of slugs, I overclocked the concrete constructor so it can use all 60 limestone the miner is making. Now, the limestone setup makes 5 more concrete. With that, we unlock base building and get started on logistics. Arguably one of the most important milestones, as it gives access to the splitter and merger, greatly increasing the functionality of a factory. However, being us, we make object scanners to start running around. Why? I have no idea. But we did want to get the hard drive that was close by. Almost immediately, however, Jack gets stuck.
Jacob,
Yeah.
I need help. And I don't have concrete.
That is a very bad spot.
It really is, and I don't want to lose my stuff.
We come across a yellow slug, and in the process of picking it up, I get thrown off a cliff by a hog. I jumped at just the right time! Afterwards, a heated battle between me and the hog ensues, as Jack just stands on the cliff like a coward. After I heroically brave the hogs, we find our very first Sumer sloop, yet another new 1.0 item. As we journeyed on to a nearby SAM node, the final new 1.0 item we will see for a while, we come across a slight issue, or rather, a deep one. Yeah, the SAM is at the very bottom of this very large crevasse, filled with weird little creatures that fart toxic gas. While gazing over the cliff, tragedy struck, as I misjudged a jump and fell to my death.
Did you just...
I found it! And then Jack died. With this unfortunate turn of events, we decide to automate copper. After some building, we end up with this, 30 wire and 15 cable a minute. Yeah, it's not a lot, but without splitters we can't really do much more. However, that is very shortly fixed.
Okay, we got logistics, let's go!
With logistics unlocked, I double our rod, wire, and cable production. However, in the course of making copper, our power grid goes out again. This time, it's because of a lack of power. As such, we start working on object clearing, while a few big boy biomass burners help alleviate the strain on our grid. Luckily, object clearing is cheap, and we get it unlocked quickly.
Woo!
Object clearing gives us the pelvic bone remover, as well as solid biofuel. The chainsaw does what you expect, and solid biofuel is more than twice as efficient as normal biomass, making it the most efficient choice for power at this stage of the game. As if efficiency wasn't enough, Ada reminds us that exploring the planet is contractually mandated fun. As you may notice, I made some awful spaghetti with the copper setup, and I refuse to explain why. With power on our minds and chainsaw in our hands, we went out and had our contractually mandated fun. Well, Jack did at least. He went on a rampage, destroying every tree he could find. Meanwhile, little old me started working on a little baby factory to make solid biofuel. That was stupid. At full capacity, it can feed 15 biomass burners, making 450 megawatts. Not bad. I go ahead and set up 6 burners because, well, we need them. I mean, just look at our power grid. With the factory connected to power, our first bit of beautiful biomass is made, solving all energy problems ever. Seriously, why don't we just do this on Earth? We got plenty of trees. With power less of an issue, we start working on part assembly, the milestone that will actually allow us to progress in the game. Completing it gives us the assembler, which turns 2 items into 1. It has many uses, but the main one right now is automating rips and smart plating, which, if you don't remember, is the item needed for the space elevator. Part assembly needs 200 cable, 200 rods, 300 plates, and 500 screws. Not a crazy cost, but we're lazy and don't have screws automated. So, instead of making them by hand, we decide to run all the way to a hard drive in an attempt to find screws that sometimes spawn on the ground.
We didn't get any.
We do get the hard drive though. Still being lazy, we run to another hard drive but end up getting attacked by a very angry hog. Like most things, this ended in me dying. Luckily, Jack was nearby and could revive me. Unluckily, the hog that killed me was still very much alive. What happened next was supposedly a very tense battle. Of course, I didn't see any of it. Jack eventually did manage to find safety in a tree. Jack kills the hog and we carry on with our lives. As we continue to the western side of the map, the first hard drive finished researching. This gives us our first choice of alternate recipes. Cheap silica or 6 additional inventory slots, which isn't a recipe, but I digress. We decide to re-roll for 2 different options. This proved to be very useful as one of the choices was cast screws, one of the best alts in the early game. This recipe basically just skips the need to make iron ingots into rods just to make screws. This will be used a lot, and I do mean a lot. I also go ahead and research Caterium and Sumer sloops.
Oh yes. Hold on, where's the summer sloop thing?
Alien tech.
Summer sloop analysis completed. Summer sloops are somewhere
There it is.
between battery and conduit, harvesting
What are you,
energy from
computers?
pockets of space with complete disregard for the rules of the space-time continuum, and distributing it
For
into
the
its
alien
connected
power
ecosystem.
augmenter, yeah.
This energy,
Let the effigies harvest until the waves reach our shores. Consume.
similarities to the hypothetical force of dark energy to potentially be
Production
one and the same.
Oh, so that's
It
what
can
the
now
purple
be
was.
tracked by the object scanner.
We eventually make it to the self-christened Oil Isles. These bad boys have oil, more oil, lots of big scary animals, a couple of crash sites, and even more oil. However, our journey wasn't without its issues.
Says you left the game?
Hello?
Hello?
My game just crashed.
Okay, that's...
Or it said the host left connection.
might have...
Did your internet go out?
No, it says it's on. I mean, the Discord...
It says you're offline. What?
Okay, so originally I was going to condense the next 20 minutes into a very short montage, but as I was editing it, I just realized it didn't work. So now I'm just going to show the raw footage with little to no commentary from me. Enjoy!
Oh wait, isn't there like a bunch of oil on that island? Or at least there was? I know.
Yeah, about 120. That is gonna be a death trap.
Whoa! I don't have any weapons. Oh, there's one on the other side.
You distract him, I'll get it.
Yoink! 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 Ooh, satyrs. This really hurts. There's really good stuff though.
There's rubber.
Yeah,
119 of
Look
it.
at me! Look at me! Yeah! Look at me! Look at me! Look at me! No, look at me! Yeah, ow! You hurt a lot. Ow! I am getting hit and
I want my rebar gun. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh, it doesn't need anything. Hard drive. Nope, wrong one. Hard drives. Scan. Let's scan him. Scan him, and scan him. Scan him.
There's like a gnat in my room, annoying me so
Ah.
much. What is that?
What is what?
What is that?
Where are you?
Get over here.
Is that a purple slug? I can't. What? That's a spitter.
No. That.
Oh dear lord! It's a big nest. What are you doing?
Bye.
No, that's.
Run.
Well, yeah, no, right. We don't have to go for that hard drive, don't we?
I don't think there's even a hard drive over there.
Whoa, where did you come from? Jeez. Those little buggers chased me so far. Ah! Help.
There's another one.
I feel like there should be like an alpha land whale thingy.
It's the same thing, but just bigger.
Yeah, just like bigger and you bounce higher.
This is not good. I found the hard drive.
I'm gonna kill every last one of you.
Ow! Got me? Oh, this is not good.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I am very hurt, I just realized.
Me too. Okay,
I'm trying to get close to it.
you see that island over there? That's where we need to be.
Get back here! I'm trying to stab you with a taser. Come here. Come here. Yeah. Stop moving. Stop moving. Stop moving. Stop moving. Stop moving. Yeah. Come here. Yeah. Yeah, we're teaming up on you now. Come here. Yeah, come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, the spitters are hitting the hog. I got it. Nope, never mind. I died.
Okay, now we just have to get
died.
the spitter.
Oh, I see it. No, but I see two big spitters.
I see butter.
Just so you know, when we say butter, we're referring to encased industrial beams, because they kind of vaguely look like butter. So, yeah.
Computers.
Computers, packaged fuel, plastic, more butter.
Come here. I'm very hurt.
Okay, I got the hard drive. Let's go. Oh, there's oil.
Yeah, I told you, there's oil in here.
No, not like the
And
normal
we can't
nodes.
let America know. Where'd you go?
I don't think there's a hard drive. So I'm retreating.
I'm just playing chicken with hogs. I think I bit off more than I. Oh no!
What'd you do?
I just run right next to a big nest.
There's a lot of stuff coming after you. Don't look back, just run.
I played chicken low too well. Help!
How much I can do?
It's still after me.
Okay, well that was fun.
Your footsteps are like squares in the water. Okay, I have 25 nuts. I'm gonna eat them all.
That's what she said.
You don't have the stuff to build 60 megawatts, do you?
I'm not. There's a Mercer sphere.
Right where?
It's in that little cave.
I'll go get the mesosphere. Never mind. I saw what was in the cave and I said no.
What was it?
Spiders. I saw like 4 of them.
Oh shoot.
Butter, rips, 80, 75 rips?
We can get The thing.
Yes, the thing.
Wait, this is...
Thing. What was the thing? Mark II Logistics, I think it
Yeah.
was.
This is the coal lake.
That's the coal lake? Oh, it is.
Well, not the small one, but it goes into it. Why is he still following me?
Just run.
You have to, like, do a zigzag.
There's another big hog. Oh no! It's gaining on us.
A cliff.
Off the cliff. Nothing?
Well, I am now. Didn't kill me. I think we're safe.
Remember the original point of our little adventure? Well, we still didn't get any screws. Truly a big brain moment. Because of this big oops, I go ahead and unlock Logistics Mark II, which gives us, well, the Mark II belts. These can transport twice as many items as the Mark I belts, 120 items instead of 60. I use these to unlock the full potential of our power setup. Well, theoretically at least. We still need to build more burners. So I go ahead and build 2 more burners, meaning we now have a total of 8 out of 15. While I was doing this, Jack handcrafted the screws, allowing us to finish part assembly and get to work on automating rotors and rips. We start with rips as they're used to make Mark II belts and end up with this hideous system making 10 rips a minute. Despite its hideousness, it does work. So we move on to rotor. Awesome sinks! Have you ever had parts that you just hate and want dead? Have you ever had byproducts and wish they just didn't exist? Well, wish no more. Introducing the Awesome Sink. This baby allows you to sink your self-doubt into the endless abyss of Fix-It Incorporated. In return, you gain valuable coupons. You can use these little coupons in a closed, totally not communist economy for great rewards such as box. Remember, it's not illegal if you're on an alien planet.
Awesome sinks are known to produce excessive amounts of gamma radiation, hydrogen cyanide, arsenic, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and other completely safe gases. Do not use the awesome sink if you are allergic to toothpaste, galvanized steel, or trees, as doing so will cause immediate death. Do not use the awesome sink if you are under the age of 63 and a half, are not pregnant, own more than 6 pins, or if you were born in Sweden. In some cases, the awesome sink has caused liver failure, nerve damage, memory loss, depression, uncontrollable crying, unwanted pregnancies, hair growth on the left knee, sudden loss of the trapezium bone, allergies to cats, and, in all cases, a slow, agonizing death.
Yeah, Awesome Sink. I synced some of the advanced parts we got while hard drive hunting, and it nets us a nice 34 coupons. We use these to buy the most important item in the game, coffee. With the power of caffeine, we finally build the space elevator on a nice little plateau overlooking the base. Now we just need smart plating. Yes, it's finally time for that. Luckily, we already have half of what we need. Sadly, the other half is really annoying to make. The recipe for smart plating is 2 rips and 2 rotors to make 2 smart plating. We already have 10 rips being made, meaning we just need to make 10 rotors. Of course, being master procrastinators, we go slug hunting under the guise that we need more power shards. Alas, the factory must grow, but it does it on my watch. I make more spaghetti, and then promptly realize my design doesn't work. Somehow, it's using too much iron, so I quickly fixed it to use just enough iron. One slight issue is that just enough is 112.5 iron ore a minute. I hate this number. It's just 7.5 away from being a perfect 120 iron. So we bounce around trying to figure out what to do with the extra iron, and we eventually, in all our smartness, decide to just make some extra rods. Not like we needed more, we just couldn't come up with something better. We also toil a bit with the setup. See, we need 5 constructors making screws and 3.83 making rods, which is kind of annoying. However, we do figure it out by putting all the ingots on one belt and sending it into a manifold. If you don't know, a manifold is basically a long line of splitters. It isn't perfectly efficient right away, but over time the numbers equal out, making it efficient. It's also a lot easier to build than a traditional splitter, and it kinda looks cool. We build our magnificent manifold and start working on the rotor assemblers. Because I love my spaghetti, I make a mess of the belts and also decide to turn the excess rods into rebar, which isn't even unlocked yet. Of course, it wouldn't be satisfactory if everything was perfect. We didn't have enough power for the rotors. However, being the intellectual I am, I remember an old folks' tale. When life gives you lemons, burn them for power. Luckily, we had plenty of lemons and plenty of space for burning. With rotors being made, we can now work on smart plating. This system is pretty simple, just 5 assemblers with the rips and rotors split between them. I also go ahead and expand plate production, since we kept running out. With plates in hand, I set up smart plating with some beautiful belt balancing. You may notice a distinct lack of Jack in these clips, and I really wish I could tell you what he was doing. See, for whatever reason, OBS decided to just not record his audio for this session, leaving me to figure out what he and I were doing. Right now, I think he was out slug hunting, so let's just go with that. Anyways, smart plating was done, and now we just had to wait for 50 to be made. In the meantime, we unlocked the bestest equipment in the game, Blade Runners. These let us run fast and jump high, which might not seem like anything crazy, but as the cool kids say, they are straight up bussin', bruh. I hate myself. Namely, Blade Runners let you jump on top of splitters and mergers, which is a massive improvement. They are also the fastest method of transport right now. Needless to say, we are really happy to have these. Shortly after, smart plating finished being made, letting us finish Phase 1 and enter into Phase 2. Wow, 2 phases in a single video. Absolutely bonkers. I just felt the end of Phase 1 wasn't that momentous. What will be momentous enough? Well, I guess you'll have to wait and see. Phase 2 is by far my favorite phase. In it you get coal power, steel production, Mark II miners, and human pipes. But all that's still a ways away. What I think is important to note is that completing phases adds a physical structure to whatever this is. This is new to 1.0, and I for one think it's pretty cool. All these new milestones cost a ton of rips and rotors, so we decided to go on a little adventure to let our items backpile.
We also wanted to recover our stuff from the site of the incident, so win-win.
On our way to Sam, we find a crash site and quickly desecrate the grave, retrieve the hard drive. We also come across some slugs and a Mercer sphere before finally making our way back to the site of the incident. Day 16. While venturing out for resources, Fixit notifies us of a strange material nearby. Of course, we oblige and follow the signal. It takes us down to a great crevasse, the one we had seen just a few days before. Staring down, through the gas emitted by the flowers, we could just make out a glimmering purple speck. We begin building our way down, all whilst trying not to disturb the gas flowers. After much struggle, we caught a glimpse of it. A shining purple aura surrounded by the monotone grays of the rocks. It was the kind of sight that leaves you in awe of the universe. Not only that, overlooking the purple gold was the astonishing sight of a sumer sloop. However, all was not well. I had this unshakable feeling that something was wrong. Maybe it was the lingering smell of the gas or the occasional unsettling scratching. As we ventured nearer to the bottom, it made itself known to us. It was a disgusting, grotesque abomination with large, bulbous eyes and, allegedly, 8 twisted legs. Fortunately, the Fixit CEO seemed to favor us that day, as the creature stood passively watching over us. Under this false safety, we progressed down the gorge. As I picked up the sumer sloop, I underwent a terrifying vision.
Oh.
Be appropriate. The effigy has no song, only echoes, but is part of a river. Why does the effigy avoid the windows?
Attention. Your brain's operations are outside typical parameters. Time spent daydreaming will be deducted from your sustenance budget.
After coming to my senses, I finally landed at the bottom, while Emily watched from the top. I laid my hands on the strange and alien matter, and let myself become enveloped by its beauty. Eventually, something catches my eye. A corpse? No, surely not. It was at this moment when it finally decided to attack. What followed was a battle comparable to that of Abraham Lincoln and Joseph Stalin's legendary duel atop the Empire State Building. While I could only retreat at first, I eventually gained my wits and pursued my foe, and, much like what Lincoln did on that fateful day,
my partner sucker punched the creature in its face, killing it instantly. Fearing retaliation from the creature's offsprings, we gathered our things and left, never looking back. Dated 25 September 2134. Having ventured into the depths, we emerged victorious with our goodies. However, we can't research them just yet as we still have a hard drive cooking. 1 minute and 48 seconds later, we research Sam and Sam reanimation. At this, Cursed Ada tells us
Our bones are more beautiful than yours.
and I have to believe her. We can't do much with Sam right now, so we make some progress on the sulfur tree by unlocking black powder. We head back to the factory and unlock jump pads.
Yay.
Okay, look, I love this game and the devs behind it, but what was the thought process behind these things? Of course, they did come out before hypertubes or ladders, but still, who uses these? I know for sure we won't. Even still, completing jump pads finishes all the milestones in Phase 1, and we immediately get to work on coal, the sulfur tech tree. We unlock an extra tool slot and the ability to get more researches. Now we can finally work on... I hate this game. We expand our little biomass setup to its full potential, finally giving us 450 megawatts. With this, we unlock coal power. This is arguably the best milestone in the game, as it allows us to automate power, meaning we no longer have to scavenge for leaves and wood. It is, however, somewhat difficult to set up compared to biomass. The first step to coal power is finding a good location to build it. See, coal power needs, well, coal, but also water and a lot of open space. As such, it's important to find a spot with all of these close by, because transporting water is a pain in the ass. Luckily, I already had an idea on where to put it. The so-called Snake Tree Forest has 4 normal nodes of coal and a lake ton of water. Funny enough, this is where I built baby's first coal power way back in 2022. I have grown up since then, and as such, have much bigger ambitions for this area. Also, another achievement. Yay! To explain the setup I had in mind, we first need to explain how coal power works. Welcome back, class. Today's lesson is Power Setups 101. In this lesson, I will talk to you about China's favorite black rock. Coal needs 2 things to work. Coal, obviously, and water. Each coal-powered generator needs 15 coal and 45 cubic meters of water every minute. Miners typically work on variables of 30, and the water extractor produces 120 cubic meters of water. So, we need to find a ratio between coal, water extractors, and generators that is made of perfect whole numbers and is easy to internalize. You have 2 seconds to figure it out. Go. Got it? It's 8 generators, 120 coal, and 360 water. However, there is a slight issue. Mark 1 pipes can only transport 300 cubic meters of fluid, and I don't know about you, but 360 is more than 300. This means you have to use this weird system where the extractors are placed out evenly so that each extractor feeds roughly 2 2/3 generators. Even I'm not exactly sure how this works, but it does, so just accept it. Class dismissed. Since the math isn't too complex and the design isn't too difficult, I wanted to have 8 of these sets, a set being 8 generators and 3 extractors. But before we could build, we got distracted by a lizard doggo. Meet Fixit Incorporated Property, the newest member to the party.
Brother,
He will provide many presents in his definitely very long life. To keep this precious boy safe, we built him a little box that he can't escape from. Oh well. It's also around now that Jack gains a deep hatred for these little bird things. I don't know why or how, but I'm not one to quell some simple hatred, so we start killing every bird we find. Anyways, back to coal. While the whole plan requires 8 sets, we can only build 4 at the moment due to belt limitations. Before we could start, I realized we don't have copper sheets being made. This is an issue since copper sheets are, well, the material used to make pipes. So we head back to the base and start automating them. It's not pretty, but, well, there is no but, it's just awful to look at. Luckily, this is the last of the truly awful spaghetti. Hey, editing me, I'm here to tell you that this is just a straight up lie. Of course, on the way back to coal, we get distracted again. this time by jumping on the beans.
Boing.
I wish I was joking. And then we get distracted again, trying to get on top of the flying manta. The male mind is truly an enigma. While lollygagging with the local fauna, I casually commit first-degree murder.
I'm so sorry.
We then wait over 2 whole minutes just for the moth to pass under us. I successfully land on it, Jack does not, and so he races to build up to it, and fails.
It's time to try defying gravity. As I go try defying gravity, and you can't pull me down.
Sadly, he does eventually land on it. In the course of these shenanigans, we get 3 more achievements, plus I get 1 for typing Fix-It Inc. property, so I say it was worth it. Now we can actually get back to coal. I spend some time figuring out the setup and land on this. It's easily expandable, which will be useful when we get Mark III belts, and it's pretty easy to build. We do have to move the whole thing over by 1 foundation, but besides that, the preliminary building goes smoothly. With foundations built, we could start spamming out coal generators. Or at least we would if we had enough materials. Thankfully, 1 journey back to the base was enough for the materials. Now, with all the things we needed safely in our interdimensional pockets, it was only a matter of building it. Finally, it was time to turn it on, and what a rush it was. After so many hours, we had automated power. However, we weren't content with a measly 8 coal generators, so we built the logistics for the other 3 sets and turned them on. As a token of our success, we bought factory carts. I'm not exactly sure why, but you know. We also go ahead and unlock basic steel production, the Xenobasher, and somewhat surprisingly, advanced steel production. Ooh. Usually, you'd have to set up automation of steel pipes to unlock advanced steel production, but we just straight up bought them with coupons. Cha-ching! With the excess pipes, we also unlock SAM fluctuators. These will be useful much later on. With coal power finished, we turn our ambitions back to the factory. To begin our plans, we go slug hunting, starting with this cave. You may notice the entrance is surrounded by green gas, the same gas the flower things emit. Annoyingly, these fart pillars keep producing gas, so the only way to get around these is with Bush's favorite item, bombs. We unlock the detonator, handcraft some bombs, and unleash democracy on these savages. Yeah!
Now. Wow. Wasn't.
This 1 slug, however, would not be enough to quell our ambitions. See, our factory needed an overhaul if we wanted to complete Project Assembly. To achieve this daunting goal, we would need a factory capable of producing 10 times what it currently does, and it all starts with the power shards. During the slug hunt, we made enough smart playing for Phase 2. With that, we take down the smart playing setup, unlock a gun for some reason, and prepare for the future. The ease and efficiency of coal power allows us to, at last, take down the biomass burners, fully solidifying ourselves in the era of full automation. The only thing to do now is to keep expanding.